made what was going to be a quick and decisive win into 5 years of hell.
The 5 Long Years trailer. It's just the tip of the iceberg for the Halo Wars story. It's kind of an ensemble cast. You know, befits an RTS game versus the more single-character cast of a first-person shooter. And it follows the crew of the Spirit of Fire as they battle the evil Covenant and save the galaxy. But it's actually kind of fun, really, to start showing off gameplay today. We've been waiting a long time to get to the first playable, which is the thing that we're showing off at E3 this year. In addition to, we're officially announcing something that the fans have long suspected, that the Covenant will also be a fully playable race in Halo Wars. Bringing the RTS genre to the console is something that lots of people have tried before. We think we're the first people to get it right. It's very easy, selection is huge, and so Justin can press A and we get our paintbrush, which you drive around, and every unit that the paintbrush touches, it'll select. It's a really easy way to select a group of guys in an area on a screen.
Is the paintbrush always a set size?
It grows the longer you hold the button.
Ah, cool.
As we scroll over the base here, though, you can see one of the hallmarks of ensemble games. Is the detailed animations, and the bases are a huge part in Halo Wars. The fiction that we have for our story is the Spirit of Fire. This UNSC repurposed colony ship is flying overhead, and they supply you with a lot of the initial things to get your base started. But this is the top of the base. Most of it's actually underground, and you can see that effect as Justin goes over one of the building sites here. And again, we press A to simply select it. And as we move around the circle menu here, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail later, we're just using the left analog stick just to move around this. It's very simple, and we'll actually kick off a barracks here, and you can watch that build. It's quickly constructed down below, and then sort of aircraft carrier style, it comes up from the depths here. And it's actually one of the more impressive animation things we've just gotten in the game recently, actually. If you lose your base, you're out of the game, so you really don't want to lose that. There are lots of ways to take other bases, and the game really gets fast and frenetic in a good adrenaline way once you get 2 or 3 bases. The circle menu, we think, is probably the single most important user interface in the game. We've actually restricted ourselves from having too many things in the game to avoid overpopulating the circle menu. If Justin pulls up maybe the command center circle menu, you can see that there's really spots for 8 things on here. And as a designer, that doesn't sound like a lot until you actually figure out all the stuff you want to cram in there. And we've actually had to get pretty inventive, and we've lost several units and some secondary features that just couldn't find a spot on the UI. But the choice we made was to sacrifice some of those extra things for the simplicity and the ease of use. Strategy is about combat a lot, but ensemble games certainly is always about economy too. And in Halo Wars, we've had to find new and streamlined ways to bring that same level of investment in. So we've talked long enough, but let's go show off some combat. Justin can select a few of the Marines that are off on the top of our view there. So Halo Wars is a game, despite all the things we talked about with economy, about combat. Is what people expect from Halo. It's very much a back and forth game. The best parts of our RTS games we've thought in the past were when you build up and bring an army in to fight my army, and maybe I beat you back, and you figure out, well, do I come in with more next time, or do I change my units, or do I tech up, and things like that. And we've got all that in this game. It's a very kind of punch-counter-punch is the phrase we're using for it these days. And it's a fast-paced game. You can get into heavy combat within the first 2 or 3 minutes. You can try to protect your base and build some turrets and kind of turtle up. Almost every unit in Halo Wars has a Y ability. The main combat is done from X, which is also, which Justin can move the Marines around. And just movement is a very simple X command to move versus the A to select. And then that's also your primary attack. When you're over a target, we can blow up one of these barrels here. But you also have a secondary attack with the Y button. In the case of the Marines, it's grenades. So we can pop back to the base here. There's some hotkeys to do that. You press left on the D-pad, it'll jump you between your bases. You can actually select the barracks and show off one of the things that I know our fans have been waiting to find out what we're going to do with, which is the Spartan. We are set 20 years before the events of Halo 1, back when there actually were lots of Spartans around. And kind of befitting the Spartan role, they don't really exist inside the standard rock, paper, scissors relationship of the rest of the units. We have tanks beat infantry, infantry can shoot down planes, planes can bomb tanks. Spartans are sort of the kingmaker unit. They can be good at any of those things, and it's how you choose to deploy them that really makes the difference. So we've got a couple of Spartans there and a couple of Scorpions selected, and looks like maybe our ally's getting attacked over there, so we can jump over there and see if we can do something to help him. So we've got some Wraiths have come in, a little squad of Grunts. The Spartan special ability, we know the Spartans need to be the coolest unit in the game. They jack enemy vehicles. You just press Y on top of one of the wraiths here, and the Spartan will do a big old leap on it. And this is one of the things where we've really kind of overdone the things on purpose. It's over the top, it's hardcore, it's something that we want people to see. You see a backflip there. He yanks the elite out, and now I've taken over the wraith. So now my enemy is pretty sad. He's lost his wraith, but he's also, I've got one too. And the cool thing about this is it lets you go over pop and things like that. So if you're a hardcore guy, you know what that means, how huge of an advantage that can be. There's a larger force coming over here. You can see some of the canonical Covenant units you would expect. Grunts and Hunters. Hunters are great at killing vehicles, just like people would expect from the Halo franchise.